then who are these rogue officers who then forced this man into the cell? Because it clearly says that the OCS refused to book Ojwang to the police station since he was bleeding heavily. He said that the man needed medical attention first.
Against these police officers, they only give recommendations. Past that, the DPP, the matter goes to the DPP and to the courts in Kenya. Can we change that law?
I believe the IG and most of the DCI will be on top of this investigation so that we can get to know exactly what happened and who is responsible for this.
Okay. Guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Mambo yameanza kumulemea William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya.
This must be done with a lot of speed, and actual information must come out, and we must know who did it because we have a lot of theories.
In Nairobi County, mambo yameharibika. Guys, wakati ambapo ama moments ambazo wa Kenya plus Gen Zs wakiendelea kumon kifo cha Albert Ojwang, William Ruto bado anaendelea kutuambia story ya housing projects.
Housing is going to change this country. Housing is going to change this country. Na mutakuja kuniamini.
Huyo ni William Ruto today. And don't forget, jana mambo yalichemuka. Na mambo bado yanaendelea kuchemuka hapa jijini Nairobi. So, maandamano ambayo yanaendelea kufanyika saa hii yanaendelea kupeana William Ruto wasiwasi. I don't know watu ambao wana advise the president wanafikiria nini. Hii ndo kitu na ambacho William Ruto angekuwa saizi ameaddress wa Kenya. Angekuwa shazungumzia hii mambo ya police brutality. Unaona watu wangu? And kwa hii video, you are going to be shocked. Don't try to swipe up this video and sure to guys umelike ili kuonyesha kwamba una support hii channel, na nasema thanks so extensive kuendelea kusupport hii channel. Your support nimeendelea kurecognize, acha Mungu aweze kukutetea na kuongoze kwa kila jambo. Kwa hivyo guys, kitu ya kwanza, SABINA CHEGE amekuwa TV47. Na kikosi kingine pia cha William Samoei Arap Ruto kimekuwa upande wa Citizen TV. And pia wanajaribu kuslam hii incident, telling us that those police officers wote wanafaa kuwa arrested. But now unajua guys, cha kushangaza ni kwamba even hii kifo ya Charles Ong'ondo, a member of parliament in Kasipul, pia ilikuwa hivyo. Walituambia kwamba uchunguzi unaendelea. And don't forget, even MCA from Kariobangi, Nairobi County, pia kifo chake kilikuwa tu tatanishi kama hiki, but nothing happened. Walituambia kwamba wanaendelea kufanya uchunguzi wa kutosha. Unaona watu wangu, wanakuja kwa mapress, wanatuambia. Wanaingia wapi, wanatuambia. Wanaendelea kufanya investigation. Up to now, huyu Charles Ong'ondo alizikwa, MCA from Kariobangi alizikwa, nothing happened. Mambo yalisha hivyo hivyo. And don't forget, even hii story ya Nduta from Vietnam pia imesahaulika. We don't know kama huyu Nduta alinyongwa ama vipi. So guys, nasema asanteni sana kwa hiyo like yako watu wangu. Kwa hivyo we want us first of all to listen to SABINA CHEGE. Kisha tusikize pia kikosi cha William Samoei Arap Ruto. Kisha tuangalie jinsi ambavyo Gen Zs wamejam upande wa Nairobi. Yenye tunazungumza saizi, it is happening now. Mambo sio mazuri watu wangu. Skiza.
Expression. And compared to maybe our neighbors, other countries, I think Kenyans, we are ahead in terms of expression. As my colleague has said, yes, some of us have gone through a lot in the social media and everything else. We survive. We live another day. And you'll wake up in the morning and you're trending for the wrong reasons that you also don't even know them. But if you decide to chase after everyone, I don't think whether we can rest. And so I always keep on saying, yes, there's freedom of expression, but where your right, stop, or there's right to freedom of expression, then mine starts there. I was looking at what has been covered in the Standard and the occurrence of this young man, and how one of the officers, I was just reading in the paper saying that actually the OCS at the Central Police, who is being called Benjamin Talam, refused to book Ojwang to the police station since he was bleeding heavily. he said that the man needed medical attention first. So if an OCS saw, then this young man needed medical attention first. We are still having a few human police officers who are there. Then who are these rogue officers who then forced this man into the cell? Because it clearly says that the OCS refused to book him at the OB because he saw he needed to be taken care of first. So who bet Ojwang? So by the time we are getting to the level of that he was not to be taken in at the station because he was bleeding, then are we having then rogue police officers who, because maybe your boss have sent you, then you go and mishandle a person, and then you want to come and dump somebody? Then do we need even to retrain or even to relook at the people we have in the police force? I don't think there are that many.
But look at it this way. Last week we had a case where, in this discussion of a finance bill,
yes,
but one person decided to open a website, and the same security agencies picked them up and locked them up. And you wonder, okay, freedom of expression?
Well, I've said there are those cases I would say somebody has been denied that freedom, but will not just say in, just to generalize and say Kenya, we don't have freedom of expression. We know there are countries, even access to social media, even access to information is not. It's true that the countries where we are ahead. We try, and I would say I wouldn't really say that we don't have freedom of expression in Kenya, because comparing ourselves even to our neighbors, we are slightly ahead. But that doesn't mean that we do not have incidences like this one, incidences like last week. I think I was here when I talked about that lady. I later came to learn the whole issue about the arrest, where there was an email, I think a message that was being sent to people's phones, and then when you click it, it was just sending an email to Parliament. Mm-hmm. And it was almost, what would I say?
This is disturbing, is it, given the inconsistencies in the accounts of police as to what happened to Albert before the admission that he died while he was in custody?
Before we even go to inconsistencies, from my experience, one of the things that police dread most from our early training was escape from police custody and death in police custody. Death in police custody is taken very, very seriously. And no police officer, starting from the officer commanding police station, would allow someone to die in his custody. I remember my first station where I worked, I had a very experienced OCS, the late Clifton Josephat Anami Msoso. You know, we had teams like the flying squad and so on, and you know the experiences those days. One instruction he gave us when we were new was that never admit a person in custody who has been brought by any other service, whether he has been brought by, unless it's somebody from your station. Yeah. Brought by CID, brought by anti-stock theft unit, you don't admit unless you have contacted him. And the first question is you must interview the person and ask him, are you in good condition? Mm-hmm. Have you been tortured? Have you been beaten? And anytime you receive a person in custody, even a person who has been maybe harmed through mob injustice, the first thing you do is to take the person to hospital. And these are standards that had been put in place. So one of the things police dread most is having somebody die in your custody is a serious, serious issue. And one thing that we must understand, that we don't have any other police service. We only have one national police service, and therefore the image of the police is very important. So when such incidences happen, it puts everybody in a very awkward position, starting with the police service itself, because the police have responsibility to inculcate trust into people, because somebody would ask, if I'm not safe in custody, then what happened? Because I've talked to the officers who arrested Ojwang with his parents in Homa Bay, and they told me they drove the guy, well, fine, and they handed him over to the police station while he was fine. And that's what, because I personally called the officer in charge of cybercrime. What happened? How did you bring this? He said, no, This guy was in communication even with his family members, even with his friends, until we reached Nairobi. Yeah. And therefore, this puts the police in a very awkward position, especially at this particular time that we even have heightened political tensions and many other issues, because the main question is, people will start wondering. So I think the most important thing is that I believe the IG and most of the DCI will be on top of this investigation so that we can get to know exactly what happened and who is responsible for this. Because if we don't do that and we keep on having situations where police image keeps on going down, then it will be a very big problem. So I think this must be done with a lot of speed, and actual information must come out, and we must know who did it, because we have a lot of theories.
Before I come to the Law Society of Kenya President Emeritus and Waiganjo, so information is key, you said, so allow me to source for information from you. So who are the police officers who arrested Albert? Understandably, the reports were that he was whisked away from Homa Bay County when he was booked at the police station by DCI officers.
Yes.
Yeah. How many police officers were involved?
I am not sure, but I think there must have been 3 or so.
3 or so?
Yes. Maybe including a driver.
Okay. From the National Police Service?
From DCI, yes. National Police, DCI is under National Police Service.
Their details were never made clear in the statement by the IG yesterday and the previous night when the OCS and the others were interdicted. It's paramount, is it, that it's also made public as to...
There's nothing wrong with making that public. Yeah. But I want to believe that as at the time the IG was going for the press briefing, he must have gotten a briefing from both the DCI and the DIG police. They must explain to him what were the circumstances, what really happened. I looked at the body. I saw the body on a photo, and I could see blood from his nose.
And he has visible injuries.
And yes, visible injuries. So our question would be, if our colleagues from DCI are saying we brought him fine up to the police station and he was received when he was okay, then what happened in the police custody? Because this person has not been found outside. He was in police custody, and from police custody to the morgue. So it must come out clearly what happened and who did it and what was the motive. Yes.
And as a trained cop, are you then concerned, because the accounts in the first statement by the National Police Service that he had hit his head against the wall, from the physical observation wasn't the true account given. As a former spokesperson of the National Police Service, are you then concerned with the manner of communication by the National Police?
Number one, I am not just a former police person. I am a trained investigator, and I was an instructor for many years, teaching DCI officers matters law, the Penal Code, the Criminal Procedure Code, the Evidence Act. DIG Langat was one of my students very early in his life at the DCI Academy when he just came. So I'm not just a police spokesperson. I was not just a police person, a post spokesperson. I'm a well-trained police officer and an investigator and a trainer, for your information. I may not clearly comment about the injuries because I haven't seen them and we need autopsy. But the question is, and that is what we question, initially what happened is the IG relied on the SITREP, the situation report that was sent by the OCS, because the OCS sent a report. And at the IG's level, if a report has left the OCS verified by his OSPD and has gone to the Inspector General, then the Inspector General relies on that report. But the question later that came up was, it is said he was alone in custody. He was in his own cell. And therefore, you can only come up with a theory of somebody hitting his head if he was with 2 or 3 other people who could have witnessed. So if there was nobody, then how do you come up with this theory of somebody? That alone gives a bad image. You know, sometimes things happen. It is just good to say it as it is, because sometimes you can be protecting a person that later destroys you. It cannot work. So what I can say is that the autopsy will be very important. But most importantly, those officers who are at the report office, what we call the report office personnel and the cell sentry, should be able to tell us what happened. Okay. Could some people have gotten their way into the cells at night? Yeah. And if they got their way, who are those people? Because you see, I'm telling you, Hussein, you don't have any other police service.
Okay.
This is what we have.
Thank you.
And this is the service that protects you. So what happens is, if there is a particular officer that is involved in such crime, then he must just be done away with, and he must just be punished for it. So that this idea of, you see, I'm a policeman, my children know me as a policeman, they don't know me as any other thing. And even if I become a head of state, I'll still just be seen as a policeman.
Okay.
So our image is very important.
Okay, we'll talk about...
Unaona watu wangu? So uniambie kwenye comment section. Uniambie kwenye comment section. Iwapo huyu Albert Kajwang atazikwa, kuna uchunguzi utaendelea? For me, hakuna uchunguzi utaendelea. Hii story itakuwa imezimwa hivyo. In fact, jamaa alikuwa blogger. So maybe compensation ndo atacompensate. But compensation ni maybe wafanye nini, wafufue huyu jamaa ndo watakuwa na compensate kwa familia, because huyu jamaa amekuwa kama tegemeo kwao. Na hii pengo imechomoka. So mambo sio mazuri. And that's why unaona Gen Zs walikuwa wamejam wakiwa Nairobi County. Walijam completely. Wamejam completely. Hakuna amani. Sikiza.
What justice is there for Albert who can no longer breathe? No one asked me to come here this morning. I came under my own will because Albert cannot stand this day to testify in court. If Albert did a mistake, let him testify in court. That's why we have court. Okay. Let him testify in court. But what happened between here and Homa Bay, only Albert can tell us. And unfortunately, as I've said, dead bodies tell no.
How low was the bar for us to vote an ICC suspect? Yes. In consecutive terms, ICC suspect number 1, Uhuru. ICC suspect number 2, Ruto. Yes. I am not surprised. I am not surprised that this government is hunting and haunting the dissenters of this regime because they are using the Moi manual. Ruto ni mtoto wa Moi. Amefunzwa na Moi siasa za kuabduct watu, siasa za kuua watu, siasa za kuintimidate watu na siasa za kutumia vijana vibaya. Na sisi tumekataa.
Kama mama amesikia uchungu sana. Kama mama amesikia mtoto mmoja, huyo mama atapata lini mtoto mwingine? Na amekuwa mzee. Atapata wapi mtoto mwingine? Huyo mzee atapata wapi mtoto mwingine? Wakimwambia hapo, wanamtoa kwa boma ya mzazi wake. Walikuwa wanamtoa wampeleke wapi? Tunataka tu huyo askari watuletee hapa. Hatutaki maneno ya koti. Watupatie sisi wa mama.
To haul tear gas canisters at us. And I went to him and asked him why he's hauling tear gas canisters, yet we are peaceful. So when I asked him that, he threatened me and he told me, I have marked you. Nimekumark na nitakupata.
Serikali ndio inapatia polisi nguvu, but not for long. We the people shall.
Go and record the statement because he's threatened me and they don't want to allow me in. The OCPD who is here and the OCS KICC are telling me that they will find me privately so that I can record my statement privately. So I'm wondering, do people record statements privately?
Yeah, why?
Or do people record statements in a police station at the earliest time possible when they have been threatened? So I want to go record my statement and I want them to allow me to go record my statement.
Yes.
I don't want anything to be done behind back doors, behind closed doors. Yeah. And I don't want to go and record my statement privately in someone's office. No. I want to go inside there and record my statement like everyone else does.
My name is Sharon D. Planner. I've been at Central Police Station from 10:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm here to demand justice for Albert Ojwang. And they said dead bodies tell no tales. So only Albert can tell us what happened. So whatever the DIG says or whoever else is saying, those are stories to defend a corrupt, impunitive system, which we are saying today must stop. This has to come to an end. We are tired. Every single day there's a new reason to get angry at this government. Every single day. They're now selling fear. By killing Albert Ojwang, they're trying to sell fear so that the young people cannot show up in the streets as they did last year. But we'll remain unbowed. we will remain undefeated. The will of the people will prevail one way or another. We are here because of police extrajudicial killings. But what else is going on in the country? What justice is there for Albert who can no longer breathe? No one asked me to come here this morning. I came under my own will.